All right, welcome to Critical Reviews.
Critical Point Reviews. This is our first
one.
Go
Should
ahead.
I introduce myself? Should I use my real name? This is going to be on the internet.
I don't think so. I think we'll just take a Critical Point Reviews.
Yes, but I'm probably going to say your name at some point during this by accident. So,
All right. I'm Sam. This is Leroy. You don't know our last names.
Yeah, hopefully you won't figure it out.
Yeah, so.
It's a big
whatever.
run of identity theft going on, so we're trying to avoid that.
That's pretty crazy.
PS3 owners, we
we
have a lot to deal with security, so But I guess we'll go ahead and get started.
Yeah, we know this review's a little late, but it's what we first saw. We'll try and get up X-Men. He hasn't seen it yet. I've already seen it. We're going to see it tomorrow night. We'll get that review up ASAP, hopefully by Friday.
I heard it was an excellent movie. But
it was great.
We'll see.
We'll get into it next time. Hopefully,
details.
we'll get Super 8. That's a big one coming up this weekend. But check back.
Yeah.
Please subscribe. We're going to try and get up as many videos.
Yeah.
We'll get up old movie reviews. We're going to try to get up as much as possible. But
we'll try not to have any spoilers and everything, so if you're worried about that, we'll warn you if there's going to be a spoiler or whatever.
But getting on to the review, realize it's late, but Pirates of the Caribbean.
Captain Jack Sparrow and Captain Crunch.
Yeah, Captain Crunch, Captain Crunch.
That was awesome. Like the first time, we saw this twice actually.
Yeah, we saw this twice.
The first time, it was like the way it started. Like, I'm not gonna get into the details, but it was kind of surprising because it was kind of different from like any of the other ones in a lot of ways because you didn't really know what to expect.
No, you didn't.
And it kind of threw a little bit of a curveball. It was fun though. It was fun. It was kind of funny, kind of comedic.
Yeah, it was funny. I'll admit.
Yeah.
I don't want to give away anything, but like when I saw Captain Jack coming up for the first time, I was like,
that's kind of smart.
It has the Captain Jack feel to it.
Yeah, and then when they first showed you Barbossa. Barbossa.
Yeah. It's sort of a joke. If you go, I'm sure most of y'all have already seen the movie, but if you haven't seen it, go watch it. Barbossa sort of looks like Captain Crunch. So the first time we went and watched the movie, we were busting out laughing. The second time we went with one of our buddies, and he was laughing like we were all laughing.
We pretty much laughed through the whole movie.
Yeah, everyone was like, what are they laughing at? We were just like busting out laughing, even during the serious parts. But other than that, I mean, it hit with a comedy.
The mermaids.
Yeah, that's a big point in this movie. I hear like in a lot of reviews, people keep talking about the mermaids. That's because they were pretty freaking awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
They were pretty cool. It was the way they set it up, like the way they introduced the mermaids and everything. It was like you didn't know what to expect.
That's true.
You really didn't.
When I heard mermaids, I was like,
Yeah, I thought what was the name of that movie? The Disney one?
The Little Mermaid.
The Little Mermaid. Yeah.
I was like, bringing us back, so you're like,
I don't know if this is good, but
it's just like Ariel's gonna come attack us.
Yeah, but have a little lobster. A
little lobster.
But
welcome to the Caribbean.
But no, they actually did a really good job with it. They took it seriously, and it actually really added. It added to the experience. I don't know if it really added to the story so much. In the whole love interest and everything. I think the love interest had a lot of potential. But I don't think it really reached it, and I think it kind of fell flat.
Yeah.
Towards.
I don't want to get into that yet. But getting back to the main core of the mermaids. They truly did hit it. I thought it was, I've liked all the past Pirates of the Caribbean movies. I know a lot of them. A lot of people didn't like the last one, but I've enjoyed all of them. Not as much as the first. The first one's just, I love that movie.
You just can't really put anything.
It's
like one of the first Pirates movies in a long time.
And they did I don't think they've made Pirates movies past like 1950 or something like that. Man. So to have this,
they did make one. I forget the name of it. It was like it was that lady. It was a lady. Or something. It wasn't good.
But I truly feel like the whole mermaid thing, like it captured the feel. It definitely had those were some scary mermaids too.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it had this
Yeah, but don't say too much about it.
Yeah. I don't want to get too much.
Because I went into the movie, I didn't know if it was going to be good, or if it was going to be bad, if someone was going to be good, someone bad, or whatever. But when it starts opening up, it really like.
Yeah, that was a highlight of it.
Yeah, that was one of the better scenes.
That was one of the better parts of the whole movie. But like the story in general, like I know this guy liked it a lot more than I did, but he's laughing, but it's true. But I mean, I enjoyed the movie, but being a huge fan of the first parts, that they ditched Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley, the Will and forget the girl's name, but I forget what it was. But the fact that because I felt that like that in the third movie was definitely overplayed so much. That's what if they didn't overplay that so much in the third movie, I think a lot of people would enjoy it a lot more. I know it had a longer running time.
One of the more interesting parts of the movie for me, like aspects throughout the entire movie, really was the relationship between Captain Jack Sparrow and Penelope Cruz's character.
Yeah, that was
her name, but that to me that was really interesting because you never really knew.
I felt
like how they were going to play off with each other.
I felt like they could have,
anything could have happened, basically.
Yeah, I felt like they could have just kept that and said, this isn't really sort of a spoiler, not really, but there was like this missionary guy in there, and then he developed this romantic relationship with a mermaid, and that didn't add anything at all. Really that would sort of, I guess that may have worsened this movie for me a little bit, but it did not add anything. Like
it was a nice relationship that they had together, but
I wouldn't like give it that, man, because at the very end, I was ready for that guy to just get shot. Well, I was like, what in the world?
I kind of felt like it could have been more impactful to the whole thing, but I thought it was a nice setup, but I felt like
coming off of a relationship that was like so complicated on the last one, or they get married on the pirate ship. I mean, that definitely worsened the movie on the third one. And to bring this in, it was just like, really? You could have just kept the Penelope Cruz and, the Jack Sparrow character, and they would have worked fine. That was actually, I hope they bring Penelope Cruz back if they do make another one. I figured they'll make another one because, like, worldwide, I don't think, I mean, it's done pretty good in the U.S., but I think worldwide this movie has picked up big time money.
Yeah.
So,
and we went twice, so they got our money. So.
Yeah, but, so it'll definitely, they'll definitely make another one. I hope they bring the Penelope Cruz character back.
Yeah.
But the two main characters, they brought Barbossa back and they brought Jack Sparrow back. I feel like those were the two main characters.
And they had when they were on the screen together. It
was really good
chemistry.
Like especially like towards the end. I don't want to give away, but there was a hilarious scene between them. I don't want to give it away, but it was a pretty funny scene between them two.
About?
Really. The leg.
Oh yes.
Okay, the leg. If you've seen the movie, you know what we're talking about. But I felt like they were talking. It was just them two on the screen for about 6 or so minutes. But that was actually pretty good.
I thought it was bad because if they didn't, I would.
They did a pretty good job of that. But for me, and I know, like, for me, when going into this movie, because they got rid of the older characters, I was expecting a movie that was as good as the original. They brought on a new director. I figured it was going to be as good as the original.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, which is why I feel somewhat let down coming out of it. I mean, it got better the second time because I know everyone's just saying, I've heard people say, well, the script's not that great. Well, I mean, it's not bad. It's just compared to the first one, which I think is why, I can understand why you would if you don't like this movie, I can understand why, because I thought we were going to get one as good as the original. I still liked it, but that's about as good as I can give it. It's like, I liked it.
Yeah, and I kind of felt like, really, the original caught everyone by storm because no one really knew what to expect, and the story was just so perfect and well done. They did everything perfect.
I mean, no matter how many times I watch the original, it gets better. It doesn't get old.
They didn't really know what to do. I think after the first one,
that's true.
But I feel like they're bringing it back now, and I feel like in a way this is a transition.
Let me say this: which they will make another one, but there's a lot of potential. I say, like, for me, out of this movie, I would give it a 3.5 out of 5, and that's a generous 3.5 out of 5 for me because I just felt like it's not as good as the original. So if you're going in like me, I would say if you're thinking as good as the original, set your expectations really down to see this movie. If you're waiting to get to the dollar theater, set your expectations down for this movie personally.
Well, and I would give it a 3.5 out of 5. But I would say that if you've been waiting for something that would at least remind you of the original, this is it. You know, because this one really brought it back to the roots, and I felt like it was more focused on pirates, more so, and they had the relationships in there, but it was like the action and the story just felt more like pirates, and you know, so the original I would give a 4 out of 5, and the reason that we're doing this, I think we both can agree, is because to us, a movie that would have a 5 would be like The Dark Knight, for instance.
Yeah, something like that.
And so, but the first Pirates was an excellent movie, so we give that a 4, and we give this one a 3.5 out of 5 because it wasn't quite as good as that one. So
definitely. Well, it's our first review. Critical Point. Keep checking back. X-Men First Class. That should be our next one. So please hit us up. Subscribe. I think the subscribe button's at the top. Yep. Somewhere up around there. Yeah. Somewhere up around there. Please subscribe. We'll be trying to bring you the most recent reviews, and all this is unscripted, so please come back.
Try not to be too harsh if you criticize us on our critical points.
Whatever.
All right.
But thanks, guys, for just watching, taking the time. So that's Critical Point.